Would you like to have persuasive power for maximum impact, making it so much easier to get potential clients to say yes? Have you ever wondered how some people seem to have the incredible ability to get others to say yes to them all the time? Like it's whether in business or personal relationships or social settings. You have someone in your mind? Can you picture that? These individuals just seem to have this magical power to influence those around them. Would it be valuable to you if you had that ability? In today's episode, we'll be diving deep into the fascinating world of persuasion, and we'll be giving you super ninja tips on how you can achieve persuasive power. I'm awesome Angie Engstrom, honoring the awesomeness in you.
And I'm Gitte Odgaard. And today we'll be talking about one of my very favorite subjects, actually, the psychology of persuasion. It's almost like the ability of persuasion. It seems to be some kind of, I don't know, superhero, superpower. So would it be valuable to you if we just break it down for you in this episode so you can implement it directly into your own business?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's dive in. In today's episode, we're going to be giving you easy to implement actionable tips so you can harness the power of persuasion in your business. But before we dive into the tips, would it be okay if I just share a quick story from my own life as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. That'd be amazing, Gitte.
Okay, thanks, Angie. Okay, so when I first started out as an entrepreneur, I was juggling so many different roles. You know that feeling when you feel like you have to do everything yourself because you feel like you cannot really afford to hire anybody to help you? You know that feeling? So what you do is you end up doing all of the funnels, the email automations, the tech, the copywriting, and yes, even the bookkeeping yourself. You're just doing everything yourself. Have you ever tried doing that? Like, do you remember how stressful that was or is? How you're constantly working to try to keep up with everything? You know that feeling? I sure know that feeling. But at some point I realized that in order to thrive and not just survive in my business, I had to shift my mindset and I had to shift my approach from trying to do everything myself to instead of just focus my attention on honing the skills that would most effectively propel my business forward, create the results I wanted. And that's actually when I discovered the power of speaking. And with that came the power of persuasion in order to thrive and not just survive.
And the shift from surviving to thriving is exactly what will help you achieve in this episode by helping you attain the power of persuasion. So let's do it. Let's dive into how you can become a powerhouse persuader. Tip number one, pretty fundamental. It's about how you interact with people and how they experience interacting with you. Fundamentally speaking, people need to experience you as having an appealing and pleasing personality so that they want to be around you. And so now what does that mean exactly? It means being someone who others find enjoyable to be around. They want to be around you. But it doesn't mean changing your personality or being a people pleaser or faking or trying to be someone you're not. It's not about that. It's about cultivating genuine traits that make interactions more pleasant and engaging for other people. You want to be relatable, engaging, and inspiring so that people will naturally want to connect with you.
Now, if you're wondering why this is so important, studies show that if you can get people to relax around you, or if you're a speaker to get the audience to relax at the beginning of your message, then these people will become highly suggestible to what you're talking about. Because when people feel comfortable and relaxed around you, they lower their defenses, which means they become more open to your suggestions and your influence. So, how do you achieve this? A few short pointers on this are: one, be approachable. Whether you're meeting your audience on a virtual live event, a Zoom meeting, or in person, you need to remember to smile, maintain an open body language, and just make that eye contact.
It sounds so simple, and and it is. And it reminds me, I met Oprah Winfrey, and I remember vividly to this day, she looked me right in the eye, just like you'd said, eye contact, and she gave me the warmest smile and the most sincere hello. And to this day, I can still feel the impact of her presence just from that moment. And that's exactly the kind of charisma that you want to be radiating.
Exactly, just like Oprah. Okay, so the first pointer is being approachable. The next one is listen actively. Show genuine interest in what your audience is saying, because this will build a rapport and it will make people feel they are valued. Great ways to do that are super easy are doing simple things like, you can nod when people are speaking, ask them questions, reflect on what you just heard. And the third tip is show empathy and understanding, because this creates a bond of trust and mutual respect. You need to show your audience that you truly understand them and their problems, because actually the point is that if they can feel that you truly understand them and their problems, the next step is that they will automatically think that you also have the solution to the problems they're experiencing. Makes sense, right?
Okay, yeah. So the first tip to becoming a powerhouse persuader is cultivating an appealing personality. Just like we had just talked about those 3 little tips within that. And so the second overall tip is starting your conversations with an icebreaker, because this will set a positive tone and prepare the audience to be more receptive to your message. As a speaker, you could start your presentation with a relatable story to create engagement. Or if you're talking one-on-one to someone, you could start with a little small talk to break the ice. Starting out by creating engagement and building relationship, and icebreakers are great for doing that.
Mm, they sure are. Okay, so the first tips to powerful persuasion are: one, cultivating an appealing personality, and two is starting your conversation with some kind of an icebreaker. And a third tip is reducing uncertainty, because as people we naturally seek to 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 have clarity and to have assurance. So when we are faced with uncertainty, we often hesitate to make that decision. That's why you need to make sure that you remove all of that uncertainty by providing clarity and assurance for your potential clients.
And great ways to provide clarity and assurance could be such as sharing social proof of results that you've helped your clients achieve. It could be testimonials, case studies, personal success stories, just some concrete outcomes. That always helps. Another way to reduce uncertainty is to clearly communicate why you are the authority on the subject. And go ahead and share your qualifications, your experiences, your awards, your recognitions. It could also be that maybe you've written a best-selling book about the subject, or maybe you've worked in the field for 10 years or more, or whatever period of time, so you know the industry really well and you have lots of experience. The point is, mention this stuff, talk about it. Another strategy that provides assurance is name dropping. So go ahead and name drop some of the people that you've worked with, but just try to elegantly weave it in. You don't have to be super overly bold about it.
The point is that when you reduce the perceived risk and uncertainty for your audience will feel more confident in your abilities, which will in turn increase their trust in you and your abilities to help them. Okay, so let's recap. The first step to becoming a powerhouse persuader is cultivating an appealing personality. The second tip is starting your conversations with an icebreaker. The third tip is to reduce uncertainty. And our fourth and last tip is motivating your audience to action. You need to motivate your audience into action. And nothing moves people more than urgency and scarcity. So what you have to do is show them that they will miss out if they don't take action right now, because that will motivate them to purchase right now, to take that action.
And here's how to use urgency and scarcity effectively to move your audience to take action. Start out by creating a sense of urgency by emphasizing that your offer is time sensitive. This will make them feel like they need to take that immediate action or they're going to miss out. And to do that, you could use phrases like limited time offer, act now, last chance, the price goes up in 24 hours. There's lots of ways to create that sense of urgency. And now that you've created the sense of urgency, your next step is to leverage the scarcity. You have to clearly communicate the limited availability of your offer. It could be saying that you only have a limited stock, or perhaps there's a cap on the number of spots in your program, or have a fast acting bonus available for the first 20 registrants. This is where you just have to get creative. And in order to motivate your audience into action, you've created both that sense of urgency and scarcity, and now you just have to clearly communicate the consequences of the inaction. You need to make it crystal clear what they stand to lose if they don't take the action. They need to feel that fear of missing out, because that propels people into action.
Exactly. And there you have it. The 3 steps to motivating your audience to action. When you combine these 3 things, urgency, scarcity, and FOMO, fear of missing out, it compels people to act immediately because it combines our innate desire to avoid loss while at the same time seize valuable opportunities. Perfect combination. So if you can show your audience that they will miss out if they don't take action right now, then they will choose to purchase right away. Okay, so let's sum up the 4 tips to becoming a powerhouse persuader. Cultivate an appealing personality. Start your conversations with an icebreaker. Reduce uncertainty. And last, motivate your audience to action.
So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to motivate more people to say yes, go ahead and implement these 4 strategies into your speaking, and we guarantee that that will significantly impact your ability to persuade and influence others. So, as always, thank you so much for listening to Momentum Maker Podcast. Keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you happen to be a course creator, a business owner, or an influencer spending too much time selling one-on-one, and you're ready to condense time and sell one to many, then open up a tab on your browser and go to elitevirtualstages.com/blueprint and learn how you can turn your expertise into 6 or 7-figure days using live transformational virtual masterclasses.